Hello, it's Two Hop Broads, bitches. I'm Dee.
Trixie.
Trixie's over there. Ho, ho, ho.
It's Xmas Beers.
Oh, I'm excited.
I'm Santa Claus today.
Are you?
Because I'm bringing all the Christmas beers.
Oh, yeah. That's better. Well, what is
Santa's beer cellar? Santa.
Right. Christmas beers is the best thing about Christmas. And who doesn't need booze to deal with their family?
Who?
Everybody needs booze, dude.
I think it makes everything just go a little better.
It really does. You forget about the trauma.
You forget
family.
people are trying to make things uncomfortable on purpose. You forget that you don't like a sibling and they're there anyways.
You forget about the verbal abuse.
Yeah, you forget about that stuff. You forget about awful things that have been said while people have been drinking too much.
The time my sister ran over my foot with the car.
Those things.
Perfect. So we're starting the podcast with the Great Lakes Brewing Company Christmas Ale.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
Tell me more.
Okay, honestly one of my favorite Christmas beers. First one we had in stock this year. 7.5% alcohol, so a little up there. This is from Great Lakes in Cleveland, Ohio, and it's an ale brewed with spices and honey.
Mm-hmm.
Just simple perfection. You know, one thing I've noticed on the label, as I'm kind of looking over it right now, is they have a freshness date on here. And what that honestly tells me right off the get-go for it is that Christmas beers, I think this is the first time they've had one on their Christmas beer. I'm not sure. I could be wrong on that. But Christmas beers, when they brew them, they're not meant to last past Christmas. They brew just enough for Christmas. They're meant to run out before Christmas.
Gotcha.
So if you want Christmas beers at Christmas, please don't. You know, sometimes we'll have some leftovers here and there, but we're not going to necessarily have what you want on Christmas.
So people need to be getting their Christmas beers now.
Yeah. I'd go out and just kind of see what's there, pick what you want. If there's something specific, just, you know.
Man, that's fantastic. I'm trying to pick out the spices.
So, yeah, guess. I want to see if you can guess a few. There's two mainly that I think that are on the label. And
Nutmeg?
Yeah. Well, that's not on, the nutmeg's not on the label, but I'm getting nutmeg. Totally. I agree with you. I concur. What's the spicy part?
It's like clove. Cinnamon. You're getting cinnamon over there?
They're saying an ale fresh with honey, cinnamon, and ginger flavors.
Ginger.
Isn't that funny? The clove. When you say clove, I think sometimes, especially when we get that Christmas taste in our mouth, clove and ginger are confused a lot because, I mean, hello, they're both in a gingerbread cookie.
Great Lakes is from Ohio?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay. Have you ever been there?
No.
I haven't either. I've been to Ohio, but never to Great Lakes Brewing Company. Do they have any other beers that we would know around these parts?
Oh, totally.
And Great Lakes started in 1988, it looks like. I wonder if they've been doing the Christmas beer the whole time. I like the bottle. Do not open till Christmas. Whoever coined that phrase obviously hasn't tasted Christmas ale's fresh honey, cinnamon, and ginger flavors.
I know, right? Rumor has it they might change the drinking law from 21 to 18.
Yeah.
I know. Total controversial thing. It's the new thing to talk about.
Oh, boy. People bring up the DUI thing because I don't know about you, but I was a freaking idiot at 18. I mean, I'm still an idiot, but just a different kind.
I'm going to say that, I was always really careful, especially when I was younger, about the drinking and driving thing. I was very adamant. Because, you know, I'll admit I was under 21 during these moments, and I thought, my goodness, you get caught, especially under 21.
Oh, yeah, you're foobar.
I mean, the rest of your life is just a bunch of mush, and that was, the logical side of me, you know, the analytic, logical side. I was like, well, why would you do that if everything else gets stripped away?
Were your parents... how were they on drinking and driving? Do you think that responsibility was because of how you were raised?
There was supposed to be no drinking. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, honestly, my biggest fear was probably my dad finding out.
Sure. So
it was an open conversation. If I ever got caught, he'd leave me in jail overnight. That was a pretty concise conversation. You make your decisions from there. If you're going to do something, then, don't do it where you're going to kill everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Amen, sister.
Prove to the world at 18 that you make responsible decisions. Mm-hmm. You can handle it.
Which, and I go back to, if you can join the military, that's one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make in your life. You should be able to have a beer.
I do. And, there is another side where I see the other side's point.
Sure.
I get it. 18-year-olds, they're legally adults. The black and white, as we say, yes. Of course there's concerns. Have they really been taught the valid lessons of, how important it is to be responsible with alcohol? Have they really been led down the right path? Have they been given the information? Are they responsible enough? Are they mature enough? Some 18-year-olds, it blows my mind that they're 18.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I even look at, whatever, at 21. I was an idiot at 21 as well. But I'm pretty sure the statute of limitations is up on this. I had a fake ID when I was 17. So I was going into the bars at 17. So by the time I turned 21, it was not a big deal. I had one beer on my 21st birthday because I had to fly out the next morning.
Okay.
And that was it. And I there's something to be said about that, where it's, when you get a new toy, you love that new toy. You play with it for a long time, and then you're tired of it, right?
Right, totally.
It's kind of the same theory there. And your brain isn't fully developed till you're 26 anyway, so if you're going to talk about making poor decisions, then the drinking age should be 26, right?
Right, if you're going on technicality, right? Research and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. Clearly it's a touchy subject, but, logically, black and white, it should be 18. You're an adult.
Yep.
If you want to mess up your life, mess up your life. If you want to enjoy a beer because you're working hard, enjoy a beer.
Yeah, for real. All right. So back to Great Lakes.
So awesome beer from Great Lakes. So they've got a lot of beers. The other beers that are totally recognizable is the Burning River Pale Ale. Conway's Irish Ale comes out in the spring. There isn't a day in the store where we can't have Edmund Fitzgerald Porter in it. And dude. I'm even talking July and August. So
it was just the anniversary not too long ago.
Exactly.
So Gordon Lightfoot.
That one's a big one. Commodore Perry, it's an IPA. There's a Chill Wave. It's a newer, double IPA that just came out. Let's see.
Very consistent in their labels. And as far as branding goes.
It's so awesome that you said that, because they just did a rebranding recently.
Oh, it's working.
It's very I love that they're different labels. We can tell that the beers are all different, and it's not just by color. There's still those illustrations that have carried through and they kept, but yeah, everything's just a little more clean cut and distinguishably Great Lakes.
Yeah.
You know it's Great Lakes the minute you see it.
Looks great.
Yeah. Nosferatu Imperial Red Ale, let me tell you, when it comes out, I can't wait to drink it with you. One of my favorite Imperial Red Ales ever. So Lake Erie Monster is another Imperial IPA. Lots of good ones out there.
What was that oatmeal stout?
Oh, Ohio City Oatmeal Stout. That is absolutely delicious. Total winter beer. I think that's coming out soon.
Ooh, sweet. Mm-hmm. Let's try that one.
Try that one? Okay. I forgot. You're getting into the oatmeal stout.
I am. I've grown. My palate has expanded. All right, so the Christmas ale, very crisp.
Thumbs up.
Huge thumbs up. Good for wrapping gifts, man. Pound 6 of those or so. All right, what's up next?
Well, I'm going to tease you a little bit and ask you not to drink this one yet.
All right. Ooh.
I'm going to pour it.
Your cup floweth over.
It did. It did.
Ooh, that's a pretty color.
So right now I'm pouring the St Bernardus Christmas Ale. 10% alcohol. I'm just going to set it aside over here. We're going to let it warm up a little bit.
That's a beautiful...
I'm going to grab my mermaid opener. The next one we're going to open up is Two Brothers from Artesian Brewery, Illinois. It's a 6.7 peppermint bark porter.
Get in my belly. So Christmas time, I like the peppermint beers. Mint beers, the chocolate mint beers, I like those a lot.
Chocolate mint beers. Mm-hmm. We did one recently with Titletown chocolate mint stout. It was really good. No, I'm a big fan of the mint in there. As long as it's, obviously it's still a beer afterwards. I've never had this before. Peppermint Park Porter. I mean, this is total, like, I think we talked about this in the last episode, that it's a dessert stout. I mean, it's a total dessert stout, and that's definitely a new trend where stouts are turning into, you know, a dessert. This is clearly one of them.
Yeah, instead of getting your port wine or whatever.
Totally.
Get a stout.
And you smell it smells like dessert. I mean, it just totally smells like chocolate and peppermint.
Like a York peppermint patty, dude.
Oh, it's so delicious.
Oh, man. Can you run over, again, the difference between a stout and a porter?
What the brewer wants to call it. Generally speaking, and I'm going to keep it really short, stouts are traditionally a little more chalkier, heavier, darker.
Okay.
And the porters are a version of that where maybe it's a little more sweeter and maltier.
Okay.
But, you know, a brewer can make a really dark porter. So, I mean, the lines kind of crisscross.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just whatever the brewer wants.
Totally.
All right.
Yeah. It's an art form. Naming a beer is an art form,
for
too.
real. I like the peppermint isn't overpowering by any means in here.
It's not, but it's stronger than I expected. Mm-hmm. And I like it. Like, I really like it. And it's not peppermint, brush your teeth peppermint.
Right.
It does taste like peppermint bark. And have you had a candy cane and have you had peppermint bark?
Yes.
Okay. So you see the difference. Like, peppermint bark is dipped in, like, white chocolate. So, like, having that chocolate essence in the beer is really what makes it chocolate, like peppermint bark versus, like, a peppermint candy cane. In my mind. Maybe I'm off on that, but...
What is the deal with Two Brothers?
Are you going to read the label to us?
Sure. Well, this one says, as the season of good cheer arrives, Peppermint Bark Porter helps remind us why it's one of our favorite times of the year, because we were getting drunk, avoiding family.
Yay!
This decadent porter blends Grand Cru chocolate and fresh peppermint leaves for a beer that is perfect for any celebration or no celebration at all. Raise a glass of good cheer.
If your aunts and uncles are talking about what the beer's made out of, they're not going to be fighting.
Right. 6.7 on this. So
totally drinkable when you say 6.7. I mean, maybe not sessionable by any means, but not out of hand.
I would split this bomber with somebody though.
Oh,
I don't know that
I can't drink the whole thing. No.
I'll help you.
We got help.
Yeah.
We have
no, it's a dessert beer.
It looks like wrapping paper.
Yeah, helpers standing by when we can't finish the whole thing. I love it. The Two Brothers Artesian Brewery has been around for like 20 years.
Okay.
So, or it started about 20 years ago. Yeah. So they've been around for a long time. You know, I'll even admit, like, they've got a chocolate mint stout too. It's different than what we did with Titletown and Mobcraft, but it was definitely one of those beers we loved enough where we just wanted to experiment with it. You know, I mean, it's...
Dude, if you ate a piece of chocolate while drinking this beer, your head would explode. You'd be so happy. I guarantee. You know what I got in my purse? Piece of chocolate.
Not as good as this.
It's not as good.
But I still love you.
I love you too.
The Two Brothers Artesian, the peppermint bark, honestly, home run for me. I would love to drink more.
Yeah.
The next one I think is ready to go because it's been sitting around for a little bit here.
All right.
St Bernardus Christmas Ale. Oh, I'm so excited. So on the bottle it says Abbey Ale. You can also say like it's probably like close to a quad.
What are other Abbey ales we know? There isn't.
New Belgian Brewery does a really good Abbey Ale.
That's what I was gonna say too. Oh, you're smarter than me. Just accept it and move on.
That was funny.
The Abbeys I've tried, I really like.
Oh, my gang does a big Abbey Ale. The Abbey Ales are definitely like the higher end breweries. I know that Central Waters has done an Abbey Ale.
What's the difference between like a pale ale and an Abbey Ale?
Totally the time it takes, the yeast content, the sweetness, and the complexity. I mean, there's just so much more complexity with an Abbey Ale.
So does it takes longer to make?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's traditionally like a Belgian beer. So, you know, those little, like the monks that we were talking about who can make abbeys and quads and like tripels and stuff like that. I mean, you're talking complexity in those kind of ranges. Not every brewery is set up to make an abbey ale.
Okay. Roger that.
So super dark brown. It's like brown sugar. You can kind of see through it, but it's pretty hard too. And it totally has like this super malty figs, raisin, banana-y, like gingerbread molasses, like it's so many flavors. I mean, there's just so many things that you could kind of call upon, especially in like the Christmas season. I mean, molasses, that's total gingerbread cookie. The minute you start thinking you taste molasses, I'm automatically thinking, do I taste nutmeg? Do I taste cloves? Like, but there's just, your brain kind of, if you're really concentrating on it, your brain can kind of not really know where to pinpoint what the flavor is because there's so many in there.
But I hear jingle bells in my head when I drink it.
Oh, totally. It's definitely a warmer. I think seeing the monk with a Santa hat helps too.
Yeah, not traditionally what they wear.
No, monks traditionally don't wear a Santa hat. You're right. Yeah.
This is fantastic.
Go figure, right?
Yeah, they're not known to be, like party animals or anything.
Not at all.
So, is this available widespread? This is from Belgium proper.
It's from Belgium.
Which is where we're going on vacation together.
I'm assuming, yes, we're still planning that.
Yep.
I know. And Johnny can come if he stops crying.
No.
Oh, okay. Then we'll just say no. Sorry.
Sorry, no room.
Psych. Psych. So the St Bernardus is definitely, I'm assuming it's going to be nationwide because if it's coming all the way from, actually it's from Belgium. So, I mean, if it's coming from there, it's nationwide.
Okay. What's demand like for this at your store?
During the Christmas season, this is definitely one of those things. People come up to us and they'll be like, well, what's a special Christmas ale? Like, what's something that I can bring to the family and just bring really nice beer? This is the direction that we point them in.
Okay.
So the demand is really for like, there's a few that really seek after it specifically to do bottle sharing. I know a lot of bottle sharing families now, which is kind of fun to hear about.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, it's something to look forward to while you're secretly stressed out in your head about seeing people. Maybe not everyone's like that.
I feel like the majority of people are.
Okay.
They just don't talk about it as freely as we do.
I mean, I genuinely enjoy it, though. Everyone's so different. How can you not get amusement out of that?
It's enjoyable, but it's work. Without a doubt. This is fantastic, though. This solidifies that we need to go to Belgium together.
I definitely think we need to go to Belgium. But like I said before, if we go to Belgium, you're going to have to sit there in the store with me and go through my list of beers.
I'm fine with this.
And then you're going to see some professional beer packing to ship. That's what you're going to see.
It's like Tetris for alcoholics. Or drunks, I mean.
You know it.
You know the difference between a drunk and an alcoholic? Alcoholics go to meetings and drunks go to parties.
That's so true. It's sad. It's the same thing, but it's different.
Going to hell.
One of the reasons I love you. All right, are we all ready for the Sammy Claus? Okay, so Sammy Claus is an amazing, amazing Doppelbock. It's from Edinburgh, Austria.
No, it says malt liquor on the label. When I think of malt liquor, I think of Old English 800.
Old English 800? So, I hate that it says malt liquor, because malt liquor is a phrase that's a catch-all. And they have to say malt liquor because in the U.S. it's got to be labeled like that. Because technically in the U.S. it's the catch-all. This is not a malt liquor. This is a Doppelbock base. But because it's 14% alcohol, then it's in like traditionally like if you were in Europe, it would fall under the category of like English strong ale.
Okay.
So malt liquor, English strong ale, it's just poor choicing to put on the package, right? It's just like a catch-all. So it's like a Doppelbock base, but the alcohol percentage is just too high to really qualify it for that.
What are some bigger Doppelbocks that people would know?
I mean, Capital has Doppelbocks.
Yeah.
The Capital Doppelbock, I mean, that's amazing.
It's so good.
It's so good. I mean, locally, that's definitely one of my faves. This is a 2014 Sammy Claus. So what you're tasting right now is not the Sammy Claus that we're selling at Trixie's right now. This is a Sammy Claus that's labeled as 2014. But what's interesting about it is in order to attain the alcohol percentages, it really has to sit in the tank for a super, super, super long time. Mm-hmm. And it's aged for 10 months before it's packaged. So
it says it's brewed only once a year on December 6th.
Yep. So
that's crazy.
They're brewing the 2018 right now in 2017.
And then now let's say someone gets this beer, gets a few of them, whatever, this year. If they wanted to keep them and age them for a few years, how do they do that?
You put it in close enough to a cellar as you have. I don't really recommend if you're aging it to keep it in a refrigerator for a super long time. I'd almost say, like, if you're lucky enough to have a basement, a cool, dark place in the basement in a box covered. So we're having the 2014, but it was brewed in 2013, which is crazy.
Man, that's tasty.
Technically speaking, they say, you know, they say you can age a beer up to 10 years. That super depends on what kind of beer it is, for starters. Yeah. My personal opinion is that I would love to know what a beer tasted like in 10 years, especially an ageable beer, and those are generally the stouts and the really dark porters and the barrel aged and stuff like that. It definitely takes a maltier tone to a beer to be able to age it that long. But you're really gambling in 5 years if it actually tastes good. Because,
gotcha.
I mean, you can do it up to 10 years. Some make it, but every single year a beer is brewed, it's different than the year before.
Sure.
And that's circumstances they can't control. That's weather, that's, you know, soil stuff, that, you know, there's always an art form to the beer. So you're never really guaranteed that it's the exact same every year.
Older vintages become more complex with a creamy, warming finish. That's what the label says on
this is creamy. I mean, how many carbos?
Creamy. Jesus.
Yeah. It's super creamy. Very high alcohol.
I can't believe that's 14%.
It's like almost like a wine beer. It's like sherry wine and malty beer. I mean, you totally taste the base of a Doppelbock in here, but it's come a long, long way. I mean,
man, this is fantastic.
And this has been sitting in our basement underneath Trixie's. So, I mean, honestly, that basement never gets above 60 degrees.
So that's how you do it?
And there's no light down there. I mean...
Keep them in the dark.
Yeah, the light bulbs are barely on in that dark corner, and that's where all the beer sits.
Well, remember that. That's where I'm going to wait for you.
I have guns hiding. And I love you, but no one's going to steal that beer.
Sammy Claus. Now, this is easily accessible at Trixie's as well.
It's definitely at the store. I always fear saying it'll be there, don't guarantee it. But the closer you get to Christmas, I mean, make a phone call, put them aside. Definitely make sure that if you're interested you get it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't, I'm just going to age it and then bask in the glory.
Yeah, so. You're damn right. All right, so let's do a run-through of what we've had.
Totally. We had Great Lakes Christmas Ale, 7.5% alcohol, spices,
really
honey
crisp.
ale. Yeah, total
Love it.
Crisp, basic, drinkable Christmas beer. Then we went to the Two Brothers, and we had the Peppermint Bark Porter at 6.7. So that's even lower than the Christmas Ale from Great Lakes. So total drinkable dessert stout. And then we moved to the St Bernardus Christmas Ale from Belgium. It's an Abbey Ale, or like a quad at 10% alcohol. And I mean, holy molasses, sweet Christmas spice.
Gingerbread
What did you
cookie.
say? You were singing Jingle Bells in your head as you were drinking it?
I heard Jingle Bells as I drank it.
And then we did the Sammy Claus, the 2014, which technically was brewed in 2013, 14% alcohol from Edinburgh, Austria. And, I mean, that is just one of the most delicious things I've ever
my God,
drink.
it's so warm and fuzzy and smooth. And wow.
So, Christmas ales, I mean, obviously we have way more Christmas ales than this, and other people have more Christmas ales. So, like, just a total shout out to everyone who's listening. Like, I love trying these kind of beers. Go to your local liquor store that does singles or mix and matches and Totally get an array of try me's at Christmas. You'll be the total hit. It's awesome.
Finally, your family will like you.
or you'll just distract people from getting mad.
Yep.
Something fun to concentrate on.
The bag of triggers that is your family.
Poor baby. We need to get you more beer.
You damn right. All right, how do people get to your store, Trixie?
Corner of East Washington Oak Street in Madison, Wisconsin, right across the street from Ella's Deli.
Awesome. Thank you for listening. I like your ear holes. They're very magical.
Thank you.